Hola, bon dia. Carl Munson here, welcoming you on Facebook and on YouTube, or maybe sometime in the future on the podcast, or of course, catching up on YouTube on our YouTube channel, expatsportugal.com. Great to be here this morning. Quite a mixed bag. It's on these days when I worry if I'm going to get through all the material I've gathered together for you, not least because of all your lovely comments that come in. That I'm glad to feature. So let me know how you're doing. You can see what's on my screen there today. To Dubai, how are you in these challenging and interesting times? I'll have a quick look at the weather, and then I've got a couple of questions for you that will test your expat knowledge and maybe inform you of a thing or two if you're interested in coming to Portugal, because that tends to be the audience we have here. The expats are already here, and this is a bit of a connection in the morning. Every weekday morning at 9 o'clock, the Good Morning Portugal show. And of course, other people watching, having a little look at how we live here because they want to come and live in Portugal too when circumstances allow. So good morning to you, Paul. And yes, my attention taken immediately to the comments, and Paul saying hi. And hola, bon dia from a warm and sunny Eastern Algarve. Al fresco lunch today. That beats the old al desco lunch, doesn't it? That some poor souls have to endure, the al desco lunch, eating at your desk. And I hope that Portugal doesn't get too much into that malarkey. People still make time to go out for lunch here, and quite right too. Good morning to you as well, Julia. Lovely to hear from you. And howdy, that's nice, that's different. Howdy from Paula Borges. How are you, Paula? Great to hear from you. Which part of the world are you checking in from this morning? So let's take a look at that weather, shall we? And I'll actually stick it up on the screen this morning. And then we'll go to that. It's like a Portuguese general knowledge quiz. Only 2 questions this morning, but then I'll tell you a bit more about those things. And give you a little bit of the Portuguese news from Portugal Residents homepage to give you an idea of what's going on with the pandemic and the stuff I think you should perhaps know about. If you don't already. Lisbon at the moment, 17 degrees. Possible light rain is the forecast in the capital today. Boo. Wednesday, yes, of course. So let me just pop that on the screen. Let's get your Portuguese lingo going this morning. Let's just put the day of the week up there. Quarta-feira, dia 28 de outubro. So, yes, Wednesday, 28th of October this morning. And this afternoon, in fact, and this evening. When, of course, this evening, we will be joined, hopefully, fingers crossed, by Phil. Phil Sylvain will be back to take us through another Portuguese CSI adventure where he looks into Portuguese history and finds out the story behind the story of Portuguese history. Fascinating. A couple of journeys I've had with him of a Wednesday evening, and hopefully another one tonight. So 17 degrees in Lisbon at the moment, a high of 20, but looking like a rainy, cloudy day there. That said, Thursday and Friday, tomorrow and Friday, looking like a nice couple of sunny days in the capital at 22 and 24 degrees centigrade. And that's 72 and 75 in the Fahrenheit. Porto this morning, overcast and 15 degrees. Still very mild here, isn't it? I've been out in the garden this morning. You saw my starter screen there. Very autumnal in the garden at the moment, down by the walnut trees and the pines. Feeling the autumn in the air, but still pretty mild, I have to say. 18 degrees is the high today in Porto. Rainy, cloudy day. And just like, excuse me, let me just have a little sip of water here. I haven't made that jingle just yet. Somebody said, don't do a jingle. It's part of your brand to mute your mic and create dead air. I'm trying to take that the right way. 15 degrees and overcast in Porto. Yeah, rising to 18 today, but a couple of nice days tomorrow, Thursday and Friday, 19 and 21 respectively. In Coimbra last night. Well, fabulous city. And we were talking about it on the Portugal show last night. We've had some lovely folks tuning in from the other side of the Atlantic, and the cities that came up asking us if we could help with our opinions on cities such as Aveiro, Coimbra, Tomar, Tavira, and good in that discussion. A lot going for it. No, that's not to be casting nasturtiums, those other wonderful places, but Coimbra, on balance, seem to have a lot going for it and stood a little bit above the others. 16 degrees there and overcast at the moment. 20 degrees the high today. A rainy day in this part of the world where I am. I get Coimbra weather. And again, lovely looking Thursday and Friday ahead, 23 and 24. So I am looking forward to getting back out into the garden with the dogs and the chickens. And it looks like tomorrow and Friday are my opportunity to do that. Faro 15 and overcast at the moment. Wednesday is looking sort of cloudy, but not rainy today there in Faro. And a nice day tomorrow at 24, but cloudy on Friday. So Faro not getting the best of it this week, weather-wise. Cloudy days Friday, Saturday, moving into the weekend there. So I hope that helps with your picture of the weather here in Portugal. Do tell me you're on the spot weather reporting as well. Always good to hear what's going on specifically with you expats around the country. News just in from Castanheira de Pera, everybody. Excited here today. Pete will know the answer, I think, to the two questions I'm about to ask you after we've had a little look at your comments here. Excited here today as the best swell for the last 3 years will hit Nazaré this afternoon and tomorrow. Wow. Off very early morning tomorrow to watch and film it. So Pete's keeping an eye on the swell on the Atlantic coast, and obviously Nazaré, legendary place for surfers. There will be live feeds if anyone wants to know them, not from me though. Okay, so go to Mayo's beach cams for that. That's one place certainly that you'll be able to see what's going on at Nazaré. MEO, the phone company, Mayo. Did you hear I had a bit of trouble with Vodafone? I won't go into that right now. Mayo is who I use now for my Wi-Fi and broadband, and pretty good it is too so far. And they serve up a pretty good view of the Atlantic with their beach cams as well. So check it out. That's really thanks for that, Pete. Where else are you going to hear that? A little bit of tip off about the best swell at Nazaré for the last 3 years, no less. Cheers, Pete. Appreciate it. Owen, bon dia. Bom dia, suas almas maravilhosas. That's a good day to you lovely souls, I think. Chovendo encoberto in Vila de Rei. So not the best of weathers in Vila de Rei where Owen is. Great to hear from you, mate. How are you? Always good to hear from you on Good Morning Portugal here. And looking forward to connecting with you sometime soon and having a chat. Paolo is in Portimão. It's where it's cloudy right now. Thanks, Paolo. Appreciate that. And it's a good morning from Gemini Bradshaw as well. Good morning to you, Gemini. Okay. Oh, and Anna's just in. Bon dia from Luge in the Algarve. Today we'll meet a couple here that we found through your webinar. Excited. How lovely. Hey, Anna. And yes, do give my best regards to those people who you've met there through the Portugal Calling webinars that we do. Incredibly popular and useful. I'm not saying that. That's just the numbers on YouTube and the feedback we get. All about moving to Portugal, the legalities, finding property, visas, everything that we cover that you need to know about. Those Portugal Calling webinars are very popular, and we welcome Peter von Noonan back on Thursday, talking about buying and renting property in Portugal. So sign up for that if you think that'll be useful for you at expatsportugal.com. Let me just pop that actually on the screen. You can sign up for free I don't like that phrase, for free. It's free. It doesn't need to be for free. That's a funny thing that's crept into our language, isn't it? In colloquialism, expatsportugal.com. That's where you'll find all the webinars, and you can sign up for them there. Premium members go to the front of the queue, remember. Okay, let me just share this with you then. Oh, Andy Craig saying hi from Yorkshire, I'm guessing again. Hi to you, Andy. And how's the weather there in Scarborough? I think you said the other day, raining and overcast. That's raining is the chovendo e encoberto, so rainy and overcast. Encoberto. You could use that in other contexts, couldn't you? You could describe your mood, I suspect, as encoberto. Palavra do dia today is related to the couple of questions that I've got with the Portuguese general knowledge 2-question event just about to come up. Will Thompson. Not the best weather in Obidos, overcast and grey. A bit like that this morning, then it would appear for us expats here over in Portugal. And from Deborah. Good morning, Deborah. Good morning. Same place, Hampshire. Still working on getting out there under the withdrawal agreement. It would be much easier if we were self-employed. Oh, well. Well, fingers crossed and bussard to you, Deborah. People, yes, I think we're getting a bit more of the backstory, aren't we, of where people are at. And we're happy to help wherever possible. So yes, do let us know how we can help in your processes. Loads of friendly knowledge in this community. So don't be afraid to shout out if there's something that you need. And here's a question of that kind. I need to know about getting a Portuguese number plate for my car. What charges are involved? Well, the first thing you have to do when matriculating a vehicle in Portugal is sit down. It's not cheap, Gemini. It really isn't. Think very carefully about swapping over your car. A lot of people just buy a car here instead because it is very expensive to do that. There has been a change in the law, which is meant to be making it less expensive. When that will be introduced, I don't know. But it's one of those things. There's a few little things that people don't tend to talk about too much because they're not much fun. And motoring, as in bringing in, or the price of petrol for sure, but matriculating vehicles doesn't create many happy bunnies. I'll put it like that. And nor does buying spectacles. Those are the things, the specters of expat life in Portugal. Yeah, the matriculation thing and the cost of spectacles. Get them elsewhere. If you know your prescription, obviously you can get them sent in. So Gemini, yes. It depends as well a lot on the specifics of the vehicle. That's another thing I've discovered here is that there's no sort of easy way of explaining to people what it might cost because it is so dependent on the model, age, and other circumstances, I think, to do with the vehicle. So good luck with that. Let us know how you get on. Put your knowledge back into the wisdom pile, if you will, if you go far with that. Beautiful autumnal day in Hampshire for Deborah over there in the UK. That's nice to know. 19 degrees, partly cloudy in San Miguel. Thank you, Christopher Noble. Great to see you here this morning, Christopher. How are you? Deborah, you have helped enormously. Would be overwhelmed without all your help, support, and context. Well, that's lovely to know, Deborah. I appreciate that. Cars and spectacles. Cars and spectacles. Yes, they do seem to be the two things. Unless you can think of anything else, everybody. We often sing the many praises of Portugal here, but those two things do seem to be the. There's always going to be some. A bit of downside with your upside, isn't there? The cloud of the silver lining, as it were, and those seem to be those are the ones that come immediately to mind. And Vodafone, of course. Gemini saying thank you. I don't think I did much there, Gemini, but keep us informed with your process there. And certainly it gets talked a lot about. So this matriculation business is certainly discussed a lot on the expatsportugal.com forum. Bon dia, Carl. Silver Coast is where I will go back to Portugal. Lisbon born, but too expensive to get property there now. Yeah, fair play, mate. Close to the Eden Garden would be perfect. You rascal, Nuno. I think you might have seen the title of, it's a bit of a giveaway, actually, the title of the show today. So let me ask you those two questions. I've got some lovely visuals to share with you. The first of which, you prepare yourself. Sometimes my output can collapse at this point as I try and share screens with you. So bear with me. And I always imagine when I say bear with me that there's like a polar bear or a panda bear in the room. Bear with me. But let me just show you this picture, this image. Expats. No, that didn't work. Let me try again. Come on, StreamYard, get this sorted out. This is a wonderful bit of software, but this is the one sticking point that I tend to get from time to time. I'll let you have a quick look at this on the screen there. We'll have another sip of water. I'll make it a bit clearer for you. So first question today for the community. Look at this on the screen here. You step up to the consumer Oki to pay your bill and you comprar. And there's that's certainly not a matriculation deal there for €1. And that is our word of the day. Actually, let me just pop that onto the screen. Palavra do dia today is escola. So you will see there it's being translated for you by that credit card, debit card machine. And the next thing you see, and I need your input here, expats, people living here in Portugal, and also Portuguese people who are living elsewhere, because you'll have experienced this. But you have a choice at this point, which when you're first here, it's a bit confusing because normally, if where I'm from in the UK, you put your card in and you put your PIN in and that's it. But here you have a choice and you can choose Visa Electron or Multibanco. Which do you go for? We'll come back to that. Let's just pop that in the comments there, which one you choose and why. That's the interesting thing for me, expats. Why do you choose either Visa Electron or Multibanco on the terminal there when you step up to pay? Good morning to you, Ty. I'm sure Ty will have a view on this. In the clouds, perched up here in Massas de Dona Maria, the apples of Granny Maria. I love the name of your town. If I've translated it correctly, I'm sure we've been here before. But it's such a beautiful name, your town, Massas de Dona Maria, surrounded by mist up there. That sounds wonderful this morning, Ty. Good morning to you and to Joe. Hope you're well. And here's my other question for you this morning. And here's a bit of a giveaway in the title of the show this morning. Where am I? I want to, I'm going to show you some of Jerry's holiday snaps now. You got to guess. You got to guess where this is. Where will you see this in Portugal? Because you could be forgiven for thinking, hold on a minute, that's not Portugal. That's that's China or the Far East, or somewhere other than Europe. But this is Portugal. Where in Portugal is it? Let me just furnish this a little bit further with some of Jerry's snaps. Not the only Buddha in that garden. Giving a bit of a clue there. Look at them all. Loads of Buddhas everywhere. And this is where Nunu wants to end up, in this wonderful place. And some of Jerry's touring snaps of Portugal, and some lovely sculptures as well. And look, the terracotta army. You stumble across these blue figures of the Chinese Imperial Army in this particular place in Portugal. Look at that humongous statue. I'm guessing that is not a small garden ornament, but is a full-on, full-scale. Yeah, you need a person standing in front of that one, really, don't you, Jerry, to get a sense of the scale of that. But that's pretty awesome. A view down onto the park there. Yeah, where is this place in Portugal? And again, that's humongous. Which is not a Buddhistic phrase, is it? But that's pretty amazing, and I will let you know after we've had a little bit of a look at the news. So we'll stop on that for a moment, and some answers coming in. Well done, Greenery Corner, and Anna wants to go there as well. I think if that's where you are referring to, and nothing about the Multibanco or Visa selection at the moment, because we make a choice. I don't really know why I choose Multibanco, but that's what I tend to choose. I'll tell you my reason for that in just a moment. But let's have a quick look at the news this morning and see what you need to know regarding the state of calamity and what's going on re COVID and the pandemic. Portugal resident, as you know, my favourite place to go for coverage. And on their homepage this morning, portugalresident.com, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs advises Portuguese nationals visiting Italy for any reason to return home rapidly. The situation in the country is careering towards a new lockdown. So yes, bad news from Portugal. And you may know, of course, if you're a regular, that we've talked about the state of emergency in Spain, neighboring Spain as well, where there's a curfew from 11 in the evening till 6 in the morning. So things looking a bit grim for the second wave in Europe. And that's the article we covered yesterday. Portugal's General Medical Council taking measures to identify doctors who took part in an anti-mask protest. Money coming in from the EU, almost as much as the Brussels bazooka. I'm not familiar with that term, but the State Health Service funding is getting a shot in the arm, if I may use a medical metaphor there. An appropriate medical metaphor. Yes, almost as much money as the Brussels bazooka that has helped the Portuguese economy. That was an interesting article. Portugal will be returning to state of emergency, warns TV pundit, as virus numbers escalate. That is the situation. And Portugal registers more cases in the last week than for the whole of September, sadly. So, and then more testing for old folks' homes and schools. And then going back to the 22nd when this was announced. Oh, well, of course, the law update yesterday was that I think people have just taken this in their stride anyway now, haven't they? With the early warnings about it. But yes, the mask thing, wearing masks in the streets is pretty much a requirement now here in Portugal. And this weekend, a particularly poignant moment in the Portuguese calendar. But yes, no travel from Friday, 31st of October through to Tuesday, November the 3rd. Gives you a chance to stay in and watch the US election coverage, doesn't it? If you would so wish to inflict such a stressful occurrence on yourself and your psyche. But that's what we'll be doing actually on Tuesday evening and on the Portugal show at night. at 10 o'clock, we will, with a team of people, be looking at how the election is being won or lost, respectively, depending on who you are, whether you're Trump or Biden. And we will have real life Americans with us from the Expat Man Cave. Donna Jacqueline's joining us as well, the grandmother of our community, who joins us on a Tuesday night. So from 10 on Tuesday, we will be looking at the results that are coming in and the prognosis as we see it as political pundits. We're turning ourselves into political pundits on Tuesday and Wednesday evening of next week. So do join us for that, where we'll start at 10 and we may go on into the early hours of the morning. So I thought you might know the answer to this, Ty. So yes, the terminal thingy, when you put your credit card or debit card in, I would love to know what the difference is between selecting. Oh no, he's adding further intrigue and mystery here. Some debit cards give cash back, e.g. Santander. Would you select Visa if you had an account like that? Okay, so let's see who else has anything to say about that. No one else at the moment. My understanding of it, Ty, as we stand, and I don't know, I'm surprised that I've never been offered cashback in Portugal. I think it's a pretty cool service. Kind of helps you spend your money much quicker. Do you want some cash back? Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah. And you take a 20, 40, 50, whatever, which you weren't expecting to because of the convenience of it. But I've not been offered cash back in Portugal, interestingly. But my understanding of it is the Multibanco system was introduced into Portugal as an alternative to Visa's network. Visa is the backbone, isn't it, of a lot of processing of those consumer financial transactions. And I'll just put this up on the screen again so you can see what I'm talking about. And Portugal, another one of Portugal's great innovations is that they created their own multibanco system, so all the profits for that weren't going to Visa, but could be made by a Portuguese company and/or the government. I think the government have some sort of hand in the multibanco system, so that's why you get the choice. And when I'm in Lidl, and the choice comes up for me whether to go for Visa, Electron, or Multibanco, I think I'm going to stick it to the man here and his usurious fees and commissions that get put on the transactions. So I'm going to go with my nationalized Multibanco here and be a good Portuguese citizen. I don't know if that's the right answer, but it's certainly what I'm working on. Oh, here's somebody more sensible to talk about it. Some bank accounts allow you to use your card either from credit or debit. You should ask your bank. So there you go. But yeah, for me, for the time being, I'm going to stick with my just sort of intuitive way of being patriotic in Portuguese by choosing Multibanco and not Visa. And in some cases, Adzana, you may have a fee. It's better to ask your bank. So check it out with your bank. But I'm not giving financial advice here. Goodness, no, certainly not. But I think the Multibanco system is Portuguese and Visa is the global system, of course. And that's what you're choosing. You're choosing the processing network and the fine points of it and what it will cost you. Yes, absolutely. Anna's right. You should check with your own bank. So that's that sorted out for the time being. Let us go and answer this other question then this morning. And we'll have a look. I think Jerry's done a little bit of a photojournalism, basically, with his snaps from the Buddha Garden. Jerry, my colleague at expatsportugal.com. And here we are in the forum of expatsportugal.com, and something just chanced across yesterday. This, of course, as Nunu let us into, is the Buddha Eden Garden in Bombarral near Óbidos. So you can go see the flamingos on the Óbidos Lake whilst you're in this part of the country as well. The largest oriental gardens in Europe with circa 35 hectares. The garden was created and devised by the Comendador José Berardo in response to the destructions of the Buddhas of Banyan. An excellent family day out, take a picnic. And the pictures I showed you were the ones that Jerry took there. And it is part, I think it was funny yesterday, Ty, when you said, are we doing a wine show every day? We're not really, but it kind of looks like that, because if you scratch the surface of the Buddha Eden Garden, what do you find? Who's behind it? None other than Bacaloa, the wine producer. And it's part of their enotourism, their wine tourism situation. So I'll show you the people behind it. And the part of the reason why is because they have so many other wonderful things to visit as well. So there you are, Bacaloa is a huge wine producer alongside the likes of Sugrap and Carmine. Big wine, I suppose formerly cooperatives, but now, sort of wine corporations, if you like. And you'll see here, wine tourism is part of their offer, and great days out, basically. Look at this. The Alianza Underground Museum, I've recommended to you before, in San Galios, near where I live. Fantastic. Bacalao Winery in Villa Noguera. That was our Palabra del Dia a couple of days ago. The Walnuts, the Noguera, the Azatão. That may be in the Azatão, just south of Lisbon at Setúbal. The Bacalao Palace, again in Villa Noguera, the Azatão. If it is, that's an amazing town to go to. And there we go. Look, there's the Bacalao Buddha Eden Garden that we've shared with you today. They also have Quinta do Carmo as well in Estremoz, and the Berardo. Oh, the gentleman referred to before, the Berardo Museum at Estremoz soon. So you can schedule a visit via their website, bacalaoa.pt, and / their enotourism part of their website. An amazing company. It's like so many things in Portugal, very understated. These companies that are behind the wine production and all the wonderful facilities they have. So let's conclude today with some more of your comments. Actually, no, what I wanted to do is to show you where Bombarral is on the map. I think it's useful to get a little bit of that sort of context geographically as well. We talked about Nazaré, thanks to Pete, a little bit earlier on, didn't we? This is all part of the Silver Coast, folks. Bombarral, Portuguese municipality in the Este sub-region, a region, Centro as well. The population of just over 13,000 there. Most important thing to show you here, although I see there was a battle. The Duke of Wellington, the first Duke of Wellington, is he called Arthur Wellesley? Let me just go back to that and let you know. Yes, let's have a look. There was the Battle of Roliça along the northern frontier with Óbidos, a confrontation between, yes, English General Arthur Wellesley, who lived at number 1 London, actually. His address is that wonderful house on Hyde Park Corner. Arthur Wellesley, the first Duke of Wellington, who had a skirmish with French General Henri Francois. And I think the British won that. And it's all part of the relationship between the British and the Portuguese, obviously routing the French in Portugal. And there it is on the map. Bombarral for you there on the map. Very central, right? Is it just me, or does that is that called a promontory? That little sticky outy bit. That's another way of referring to it, isn't it? Looks to me like a big cat, a cougar or a panther or something like that. And Bombarral, you will see there, is just under the panther's ear, if you like. And that's, all around the Silver Coast there. Óbidos, Caldas de Reina, Alcobaça, Peniche, Nazaré, and one of my little favorites, as you probably know if you're a regular, San Martinho de Porto. So there you go. That's Bombarral, close to Óbidos. Great place to visit. And I think a few of you agree. Greenery Corner guessed correctly. Bacalao Buddha Eden, and with a hearts in their eyes emoticon there. A fan of Bacalao's Buddha Eden Garden by the sound of it. Anna wants to go there too. Bon dia from Anna, and thank you, Anna, for your information on that. Rainy Cascais this morning. Can imagine it. It's still nice for a walk on the beach at Cascais, though, isn't it, when it's raining? Absolutely lovely. Philomena, bon dia a todos. Hi, Philomena. I hope you got the information yesterday from Pete about the mushroom foraging. From Chicago, good morning from Chicago. My goodness, what time is it in Chicago? From Cindy, we had snow yesterday. Next year, when we're on the Silver Coast, we can laugh at Chicago's weather. Yes, I'm in my mind's eye, I'm raising a glass with you there, a little Sagres Mini or something a little more complicated and thirst quenching. A cocktail maybe on the Silver Coast. Do go to I'm just thinking, if you want a nice drink and some very good food. I mean, obviously you can get that all over the place in San Martinho de Porto, but we have friends who run the Baia Cultural Bar. Not on the front. You have to go through a little precinct almost, and you'll go through and you'll see this lovely couple who run the Baia Cultural Bar, just set back from the beach at San Martino de Porto. Ricardo in the kitchen, Anna out front, and they are wonderful people, and they're doing something really special there, something a little bit different, very Portuguese, but making sure that they're using local ingredients, selecting their wine locally, Alcobaça wine. We've really enjoyed our meals there. So Anna and Ricardo are by a cultural bar. That'll be a good place to go and laugh at the Chicago weather. Cindy and Will Thompson, good news out yesterday on The Curve is another study that vitamin D helps by 89% across the board. Thank you for that shout out, singing the praises of vitamin D, Will, because we were saying it last night with Donna Jacqueline, the grandmother of our community here, our expat elder, that vision is so important. What tends to happen with the pandemic, of course, is that we focus on all the things we can't do and the limitations to our lives. And that becomes very depressing and dismal after a while, I think you'll agree. And it's also very important that we remember our vision here, I think. What did we come to Portugal for? I've had a little bit, it's not saudade exactly, but I've had a little bit of, it's not even grief. I mean, I can't go that far, but, the Portugal I came to enjoy has been seriously compromised by the pandemic. That's just a statement of fact. I'm not whinging or complaining, but that does have an effect as well, doesn't it? Your dream and your vision is an important thing, and this is what Donna Jacqueline was saying last night. There is a quote: "Without vision, the people perish," and it's very important in these times, I think, for us to hold fast to our visions of our lives. I mean, for everyone all over the world, not just in Portugal, but to remember that in the midst of limitation and restriction, and not knowing what's going to happen. This is part of the problem for us at the moment, of course, isn't it? Is that we don't know the prognosis here. There's a lot of guessing, and in the absence of anything clear, obviously governments do have to be quite harsh and restrictive. If you ask a government to tell you what to do, they're going to tell you, aren't they? And they're probably going to be heavier touch rather than lighter touch when they're dealing with numbers and huge populations. You can understand that. But I think also from our own points of view, we need to think about what our vision is beyond this as well. So do share that with me as well on the screen. What are you thinking about the future? Especially you happy homesteaders, because that's my vision. Is being part of the community here, which is obviously difficult in a pandemic. Social distancing, or even if you're locked down, it's difficult to reach out and be part of the community. But certainly happy homesteading from growing more of your own food and enjoying where you live and local life. Still a great vision for me here in Portugal. Do share yours as well. Let me see who else is saying what here. Good morning. American expat Ellie Ann is here. Good morning to you. No comments from YouTube this morning. Interestingly, we are. This is our second day going out live on YouTube as well, giving people an alternative to the dread Facebook, which some people struggle with, and I understand why. Visa pay after 50 days. Multibanco pay immediately. Generally, this is the rule. Yes, well, there you go. That would be sticking it to the man then, the Visa man, and some of their, I think, sort of punitive ways of operating, but they've got a bit of a monopoly. Multibanco challenged that monopoly, and I think Visa actually challenged back against the Portuguese government and financial institutions by promoting Multibanco over Visa. So I think on the balance of it here, it would appear that Multibanco is the way forward. If you want to be a proper Portuguese and go and be patriotic, Multibanco so far I think is the way forward when you have that choice. Many cases of COVID local to us now confirmed in the expat community. We're spreading the word to try and limit it spreading any further. Well done, Ty. Yeah, I mean, it's all about local life, isn't it? And finding out what's going on and taking the necessary steps on a local level. Mark and Anna, hi. Morning, amigo. Wishing everyone a fantastic day. Hi there, Mark. Great to hear from you. Thanks for dropping by and saying hi. What about the rates if you're married, says Gemini? You should only pay one rate, not two rates. I get one set of rates and my husband gets one. It does not happen to anyone else. I'm not sure what you mean. Is that house tax, the sort of council, municipal tax rates, or is this general income tax rate? That sounds like one for the Expats Portugal Forum, Gemini. Don't quite understand, but I'm sure you'll get some help there. Let's take that to the forum. Sounds good reasoning to me about Multibanco versus Visa. I would support Multibanco and stick it to the man. Yes, you and me both, Ty. And good luck, Ty. Yeah, I mean, we all lose in the end, don't we, against the financial institutions? I think the odds are stacked against us. But I think on balance, it does feel better to go with Multibanco. Yes, it does look perhaps better. That says Gemini there. Good morning from Fazetta from Kevin. Hi, Kevin. Good morning to you both there. I love that profile pic of yours. Hello from Thailand this morning. Hi there, Helen. How are you? Gemini says Fazetta is my hometown. How is it there? So let us know, Kevin. How is it this morning in Fazetta? Just concluding this morning's show with a few of your lovely comments. It is beautiful as ever, says Kevin, as we would expect, of course. That would be a very interesting subject. Why people chose Portugal to live in. It tends to come out in very high in polls, always with expats as a choice of great countries to live in. Do please tell all folks, why did you choose here? Maybe it's something we could talk about one evening as well, in a more leisurely way. We're pretty leisurely this morning, aren't we? Thank you, Carl and Peter, for the mushroom info. Our pleasure, Philomena. I haven't forgotten. We'll get you back on the show soon. Philomena, how you fixed on Friday morning? Maybe we get you back on Friday morning. It's always great talking to you, popular guest here on the Good Morning Portugal show. Everyone has been compromised possibly here by stories that are repeatedly told until people begin to believe them. They don't always serve the rights of people as humanity. Well, chuck in that little bit of free thinking, I'll call it that, this morning in the mix there this morning, Helen. Just as we're about to finish, we could talk all day, I'm sure, along those lines, and certainly in the evening. Very happy to tease that one out. Not just the COVID for me. I remain positive. We have to. I know that. I recognise that in you, Owen. Absolutely right, mate. I love the hugs and the kisses. Sadly missed. I hope the Portuguese and expats can return to this. It's not the same with a mask on, is it, Ty? It can chafe a little bit after a while. Hannah Downing, good morning to you, Hannah. Yesterday we completed on a rundown house in the Algarve. So hope is next year's promise. It's a 1980s palace. That sounds great. Are we all invited? Are the Good Morning Portugal community invited to the topping out ceremony of that 1980s palace in the Algarve? That sounds like a lot of fun. Just check in. The comments work here for you too. Thanks, Pete. So all is well on YouTube. Looking good. Helen, yes, we must remain with a positive growth mindset. Check everything. Yeah, check everything. And like I was saying, and as Jacqueline was saying last night, keep your vision, folks. Keep your vision. When we start just looking at our feet and looking down, it goes terribly dark, doesn't it? And I think it's really important to have a longer term visionary view of where we want to go. Let's not forget that. Mass stock delivered of board games, time for mini mass production, need to get unplugged from the phone and get busy. Okay, this is Will's game idea. I think I'm sworn to a non-disclosure agreement to say any more at the moment, but Will has a game that may well change society. You'll be the first to know here on Good Morning Portugal live stream. Deborah, control what you can, like eating well and enjoying nature. Oh, thanks for this, Deborah. I'm really enjoying where this is going this morning. Make a list of what you're grateful for. Go help someone who is in a less fortunate position than you are. Smile at people, even with a mask on. They will see it with your eyes. That is absolutely true, isn't it? That is absolutely true. Even if it's a scowl, you can tell from their eyes, can't you, at the supermarket or whatever. But that is such beautiful advice. Quote of the day there. Thank you, Deborah, for that. Really like it. And I'm not sure. Gemini is saying house there, but I'm not sure what that means. Good morning to you, Dominique. How are you this morning? And and Anna is so good with this stuff. She's found us a video to watch about Multibanco. That's in the comments, folks. Friday morning is fine for me, Carl. If you think I can be useful, come on, Philomena. It's always fun, and you're always useful on the Good Morning Portugal show. So it's a book-in. We'll see you on Friday. And be lovely to see your smiley face on the screen alongside me on Friday. And just so you know, folks, when that house is ready, the palace, the night, in my mind's eye, I do have this, Portuguese Algarvian 1980s palace. That is going to be one hell of a building, isn't it? I imagine there's quite a lot of, will there be smoky mirrors in there as part of the detailing? A lot of chrome, possibly using some sort of black ash finishes. Or am I just thinking of a sort of, 1980s UK interior decor? But we're all welcome. That's the good news. Not society. Will is not endeavoring to change society. That's an exaggeration. It's a little enterprise that may help this winter and keep me out of trouble. Well, that's good enough reason. Well, keep you away from causing trouble. Perfect. It's regarding my house. Oh, this is okay, Gemini. Thanks for clearing that up. It is house rate split into two when it should be one rate, house rate. I can't speak on that. My experiences of rental here in Portugal thus far, and as you may or may not know, the responsibility for the house tax is paid by the owner of the house, not the person living in it. So I hope somebody else will be able to help you there with that, Gemini. Otherwise, take it to the forum. And yes, it is officially going to be Filomena Friday. Yay! Folks, so now you know that Filomena's on her way on Friday. What would you like to know about Portuguese language and culture? Because that's where she helps us. She keeps us away from those faux pas that we can make. So that'll be a Filomena Friday faux pas avoidance on Friday. What else would you like to know from Filomena in terms of language and culture? And so I'll just put that up on the screen so you do know the palabra do dia today is escola. It's choice and choose escola because that was prompted by whether you choose Visa or Multibanco. Multibanco has it, folks. And look forward to seeing you tonight for the Portugal show where Phil Silvana, hopefully the coolest Canadian you're ever likely to meet, will be joining me to go through some Portuguese history. He debunked the Martim Moniz story where Martim Moniz is supposed to have thrown himself into a doorway to let his pals walk over his body and regain a castle from the Moors. Fake news, we discovered. Wonder where we're going to go tonight. Just this should be easy then on Friday, Filomena. Owen wants to know about everything. Okay, might have to extend the show a little bit. Thank you, folks. Been lovely to be with you this morning. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bon dia to you, and go well. And remember, Gemini's lovely. Deborah's lovely advice. Let's finish on that as we send you on your way. Control what you can, like eating well and enjoying nature. Make a list of what you're grateful for. Go help someone who is in a less fortunate position than you are. Smile at people, even with a mask on. They will see it in your eyes. Ciao, ciao. And bye for now.